to El Paso and the Borderland. This is ABC 7 at 6.
ABC 7 has complete coverage on the hikes and tariffs on goods coming from Mexico, Canada, and China that President-elect Donald Trump is promising. ABC 7's Jason McNabb will join us with how this could affect New Mexico. Meanwhile, ABC 7's Heriberto Perez has more on what Juarez businesses could be seeing and its impacts. And ABC 7's Paul Schultz will touch on how the tariffs could affect El Paso. Let's go ahead and start with Paul, who joins us live from just north of the Puente Libre.
Well, Paul, as you said, I'm here near the Bridge of the Americas where thousands of people and goods cross the U.S.-Mexico border each day. Now, some officials I spoke to said a tariff would hurt El Paso's economy, but others say in the long run it could be a good thing.
I can tell you as an organization that works on economic development and industrial recruitment, we've never been busier. And I'm concerned that a 25% tariff would halt that momentum, would reverse that momentum, and would lead to the loss of thousands of jobs in our area.
Borderplex Alliance CEO John Barella said the Borderland has seen strong industrial growth in the past few years and doesn't want anything to harm that progress. This in light of President-elect Donald Trump's Truth Social post from Monday, saying one of the first executive orders he will sign on his first official day in office would be a 25% tariff on all products coming in from Mexico and Canada.
In the short term, it's probably going to be a detriment because of the amount of imports that come across the border. In the long term, meaning 18 months to 2 years, it might net out as actually a positive. And frankly, given Mexico's position and Canada's position, I think they're going to be negotiated away probably within 2 months.
I asked Mr. Barella for his thoughts on Professor Upson's statement.
Anyone who's lived here for any length of time sees what's going on in our region. I would hate to see that momentum being disturbed by a 25% tariff, which would kill thousands of jobs in our region.
Now, Professor Upson added that if the tariff does go into effect, he could see some companies from Mexico moving some of their production to places in the U.S., like here in El Paso. Central El Paso, Paul Schultz, ABC 7.
Thank you, Paul. New at 6, the Border Industrial Association in Santa Teresa warned a couple weeks back of how 25% tariffs on Mexico could actually raise prices for consumers of goods that are right here in the United States. They say possible retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. from Mexico would also be catastrophic for producers of goods in the state of New Mexico. ABC 7's Jason McNabb continues our complete coverage from our New Mexico mobile newsroom.
The president of the Border Industrial Association, Jerry Pacheco, says retaliatory tariffs from Mexico would get New Mexico right into the middle of a trade war. On Tuesday, Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum said her country could retaliate with tariffs if President-elect Donald Trump imposes a 25% import duties on Mexican goods.
It's going to hurt us in several ways.
At the Santa Teresa port of entry, goods come into the U.S. from Mexico, but they also travel from New Mexico across the border. Doña Ana County alone provides over 60% of the state's exported goods. They're primarily electronic components and transportation equipment, agricultural goods as well. Pacheco says a retaliatory tariff from Mexico would hurt many of these producers in our state.
It's going to be our soybean producers, it's going to be our corn producers here that are going to be zapped with the 25% tariff going into Mexico if that's indeed what they're going to do is retaliate.
Pacheco says Trump's tariff could even contribute to more migration.
Ironically, if the Mexican economy is hurt because of these tariffs, this tariff war, you're going to see more Mexicans out of work and ironically seeking economic opportunities here in the United States, exactly what Trump is trying to prevent.
The Border Industrial Association says it will continue to monitor the situation with a, quote, wait-and-see attitude to see if Trump's threats will actually come to fruition or if they're simply an empty negotiation tactic. For now, reporting from Santa Teresa with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, I'm Jason McNabb, ABC 7.
Thank you, Jason. If President-elect Donald Trump imposes new tariffs on Mexico, businesses south of the border could be impacted and prices could rise for consumers in the U.S. as well, as we continue to mention. And ABC 7's Juarez correspondent Heriberto Perez spoke with business leaders and files this report from our sister cities south of the border.
Business leaders on the border continue to grow concerns over the proposed tariffs President-elect Donald Trump wants to impose on all Mexican goods because it could impact automotive businesses, workers, and prices on both sides.
Y está presionando en dos frentes para arrebatar la industria a México.
The coordinator of the border business bloc, Torsa Layandia, said President-elect Donald Trump is trying to put pressure on Mexico on two fronts with these tariffs. One, to take businesses and jobs back to the U.S., and two, to threat automotive and Asian businesses in Mexico.
Nos está prendiendo nuevas alertas, nuevos retos para la economía en Ciudad Juárez y de toda la frontera norte.
He says it is raising new alerts and new challenges for the economy in Ciudad Juárez and the entire northern border because the tariffs could take out competitiveness to a lot of businesses against the worldwide industry. Around 140,000 jobs in Juárez could be in risk if these tariffs are imposed.
A un arancel vendrá otro en respuesta.
Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum said if one tariff is imposed, another one will be placed in Mexico as a response to it, until they jeopardized common businesses in Mexico and the U.S.
No es aceptable y causaría a Estados Unidos y a México inflación y pérdidas de empleo.
Sheinbaum added imposing these tariffs is not acceptable because it will cause inflation and job losses both in the U.S. and Mexico. Reporting in Ciudad Juárez, Heriberto Pérez, ABC 7.
Thank you, Heriberto. And the Borderplex Alliance issued a statement about the proposed tariffs on Mexican goods. Quote, President-elect Trump's proposed 25% tariff on all products from Mexico threatens to undermine economic development in our region and diminish our nation's competitiveness. The Borderplex region stands to lose significantly from these tariffs, end quote. Well, we brought you this as breaking news on ABC 7 at noon. Scan the QR code on your screen to download the KVI News app and receive alerts on all breaking news affecting the Borderland and the U.S. It is free and available on the App Store and on Google Play.